I want to show two things in this video. One, how to do titles, and the other, how to save it properly to turn it in. To do titles, we need to show the browser, and there's three choices here. We have the libraries, music and photos, and titles and generators. So here are titles and here are generators. I'm going to open up the flippy triangle, and I'm looking for one called lower thirds. Let me move this over a little bit. And there's one lower third that I'm looking for that is in the middle. Here it is. You could either put that in front of the mainline clip like this, and the other clip gets out of the way, or in my case, I want to put it above the image. When you're ready to edit the video, I recommend parking your playhead somewhere in the middle. If you go right to the beginning, there might be a fade in or a fly in. So put it somewhere in the middle and select it. And then when you come over here, in the inspector, you'll see a couple of options. So looking on the first one, which has to do with the title, this basic one has a fade in and fade out. That's our build in, build out. And we can even change the fonts here and the font size right from here, and of course the font color. It's on blue, so I'm going to pick a light background, maybe Mercury. That's a little easier to read and a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll put, and I double click on it, Football Man, and I can double click here on the bottom, Under the Sea. When I come here, I don't really like that font on the first line, so I'm going to change it to something a little more thicker that's easier to read. Maybe my Jeopardy font. When I come to the second option here, you can see there's the text here. I can make my window a little bit smaller. Here you can change the font again. Maybe that's too much. And I'll change it to, that looks good. And you can make some other things with vertical alignment. And in this case, I can change the face to a different color. So maybe I want maybe a greenish color, maybe a lighter green. And let's just see how that looks. So I go back to the beginning. Yeah. Great. And it fades in and out. So you finished your movie and you're ready to save it as a self-contained movie. I usually come up here to the share window, and we have a couple of choices. For my class, I recommend Apple devices 720p. When you click here, we want to look around. You don't want to rush this step. First, you could click here and change the name of your movie if you didn't name it correctly. Then we go to settings. Yours probably says library, add to playlist library, and it's really saving, if you can look there carefully, it's really saving it to your iTunes library, which we don't use. So instead, our first step is to change it to do nothing. When done, do nothing, which means it just saves it to your desktop. Everything else looks good. I press next. Want to make sure I'm saving it to my desktop. Sometimes it saves it to the movies folder. So I'm going to go to desktop. It's named correctly, and I press save. I keep an eye up here. This is a short movie, so it won't take long, but yours might take a little bit longer, and then it's safe to turn in. So if I want to see it, it's here on my desktop, and there's my beautiful Football Man Under the Sea movie.